Like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Almost $1 billion tentative settlement for families of victims in deadly Florida condo collapse survivors and families of victims of last June's condominium collapse in Surfside, Florida, reach a tentative, nearly $1 billion settlement in their class action lawsuit, an attorney says. The settlement was agreed with developers of an adjacent building, insurance companies and other defendants, and is pending court approval. Champlain Towers South, a 12-story condominium, partially collapsed on June 24, 2021, killing 98 people and destroying dozens of units. Lawsuits from victims, families and condo owners were triggered by the building's collapse in Surfside, north of Miami Beach, and prompted state and federal investigations. Attorney Harley S Tropin announced the $997 million, $1.4 billion, settlement during a hearing before Miami-Dade Circuit Court Judge Michael Hanzman. Still pending final approval, the settlement was agreed with developers of an adjacent building, insurance companies and other defendants. Our clients are a victim of a tragedy. If you lost a loved one, no amount of money is enough, Ms. Tropin said. But the clients are pleased with this recovery. Really pleased. Earlier this year, Judge Hanzman approved an $83 million settlement to compensate people who suffered economic losses, such as condominium units and personal property. A key question from the beginning has been how to allocate money from the property's sale, insurance proceeds and damages from lawsuits among wrongful death cases and property claims. The 12-story Champlain Towers South condominium partially collapsed in the early morning hours of June 24, almost instantly destroying dozens of individual condo units and burying victims under tons of rubble. Rescuers spent weeks carefully digging through mountains of concrete, first to find survivors and, later, to recover the remains of those who died. Some 10 days after the initial collapse, demolition crews used explosives to bring down the remaining portion of the building, to give searchers access to additional areas where survivors might have been located. The tragedy, in the town of Surfside, just north of Miami Beach, triggered lawsuits from victims, families and condo owners, and prompted state and federal investigations. In October, a coalition of engineers and architects said the Florida should consider requiring high-rise buildings near the coast to undergo safety inspections every 20 years. And, in December, a Florida grand jury issued a lengthy list of recommendations aimed at preventing another condominium collapse, including earlier and more frequent inspections and better waterproofing. At the time of the collapse, Miami-Dade and Broward were the only two of the state's 67 counties that had condominium recertification programs. The main lawsuit, filed on behalf of Champlain Towers South victims, survivors and family members, contends that work on the adjacent 87 Park Tower damaged and destabilised the Champlain Towers building, which was in need of major structural repair. Investigators find evidence of extensive corrosion and other issues. Champlain Towers was in the midst of its 40-year structural review when it partially crumbled to the ground. Read more. Video released by a team of federal investigators showed evidence of extensive corrosion and overcrowded concrete reinforcement in the building. 7 months after the collapse, temporary structural supports were added to areas in the underground garage of Champlain Towers South. A sister tower, Champlain Towers North, in what the building's condo board called an abundance of caution. That condo was built in 1981 and has a nearly identical design as the Champlain Towers South. The little-known enclave of Surfside comprises a mix of older homes and condos similar to the collapsed tower, built decades ago for the middle class, and recently erected luxury condos drawing the wealthy. They include former First Daughter, Ivanka Trump, and her husband, Jared Kushner, who live about a block north of the collapsed condo. Residents of Champlain Towers South were an international mix, South American immigrants, Orthodox Jews and foreign retirees. AP Reuters. Space to play or pause, M to mute, left and right arrows to seek, up and down arrows for volume.